Mike's in the court, yeah, we got that full grip. Driving through the lane, watch them do that quick flip. We got the teamwork, making all the nets pop. Boots like a job, and we punching that clock. Bounce past alley-oop, yeah, we set the trend. Crossing over defenders to the very end.
Yeah, you know what time it is. Let's talk about it. Hey. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Dalton Sports Show. You know what we're here to do. We're here to talk about it. MD and
AD.
We're going to get it going. We had some good games yesterday. We had 2 Game 7s that we want to talk about. And then we want to talk about the Western Conference Finals and the Eastern Conference Finals. 1 round away from the NBA championship game. So we're going to dive right into yesterday's morning game. I'm pretty sure AD the Myth is looking forward to that one, to the Brunson fans, but we ain't going to go hard on him. We know that he broke his hand yesterday, but Indiana came in, and the guy that you was talking about, AD, that man showed up, and he showed out for Indiana. You know, what do you have to say about him?
He was killing. You know, he took control of what he needed to do. I don't think they had an answer for it. Honestly, it was just too much. It was too much of what he was doing from range, controlling it from the paint, as far as just threading the needle, driving when he needed to drive. It was good. You know, they have momentum going into the next series. So I think they can get it done. I don't think so, but we'll see.
So how much of the injuries, the Knicks, the injuries was just too much for them to overcome yesterday? Is that the main reason you think that they lost? And then, I mean, because they had multiple injuries. They didn't have a full team. But then in the end, it's like Brunson and OG couldn't go at it. And, you know, it was just too much, or was it just going to be too much Indiana regardless, in your opinion?
I think regardless, the Game 7 was going to be too much Indiana. Him breaking his hand or not breaking his hand, it would have been too much.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if that was the biggest thing, you know, as far as the impact of the series. But, you know, those Jalen Brunson fans, I think he's something. So we'll see next year, I guess.
So what matchups are you excited about in the Boston-Indiana series, which is going to be starting? The winner of that, everybody knows that Boston to me should be the favorite. But, you know, what matchups do you like, and how do you see that series playing out?
They should be able to get it done finally, you know, after what is this, 8 years together almost? They just keep, you know, having those key players that Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, those guys, they should be able to get it done. This is their year.
And they added Drew Holiday, which was, to me, that was a big piece to pick up. You pretty much pick him up, which he replaced Smart. You know, so any key matchups, how do you think Halliburton will fare against them? Do you think he'll give them any chances with, you know, and Turner and the squad that they got, you know, Siakam, you know, which matchups intrigue you the most?
If Siakam is effective enough, Celtics will have an issue in the first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
But if they put Drew Holiday on Halliburton, I think it's going to be a problem.
You like that matchup?
Yeah, that matchup is a good.
Favor of who? Who you like? Drew Holiday
defense over offense.
Okay.
So I think that will, in the stretch of it, I think you guys, they will favor it. They're going to favor it more on that side. But if Siakam does damage, they have an issue. Does
it make does Boston need Porzingis for this, or does it really not matter?
I don't think it matters.
They can rest him up again, assuming, you know, they got a better chance of getting him. I don't know. I don't even know what his status is like, his availability for this round. But could they be looking at it like just to see how the series go before they decide to push whether he can go or not?
It's over. I think they don't even need that.
Mm-hmm.
They have this year is their chance. Now, if they don't get it done this year, they gotta let these pieces go.
They
these pieces.
They got to start changing up.
They gotta start moving them around, man.
Yeah.
They keep trying to keep these core pieces. They ain't the Warriors. They ain't done nothing. They ain't won nothing. They just keep coming close. So,
and in your opinion, New York coming back, they'll have Randall again next year. Do you just think that there's like a key free agent or something else they need to add in order to contend again? Because Milwaukee will be back, Philadelphia will be healthy, Miami's not going to stay the same. So you feel like New York need to go out and get somebody, or is it just a matter of getting everybody healthy? Or do they need to go after that Donovan Mitchell type player? His name is floating around out there, possibly even Lakers even targeting him. Could a player like Donovan Mitchell put them over that hump in the East?
I think he's someone to step up to the plate. As far as playing in the Garden, because I know that's hard. You got to have like a strong mental for that. You got to have a different type of mental.
He's that guy. He's that guy.
Yeah, he's that guy. But they also, if they do try to stick everybody around and they got this team that they believe in and stuff, they got to – I know that salary cap is going to be something that someone's going to have to get big money.
Right.
There has to be big money being passed around somewhere, so –
because the Warriors is going to be going after another player too. They got to add somebody else to that. Nobody knows what changes. It'd be interesting to see how free agents, the key free agents, where do they feel as though that they got to go to another team and form that also called super team. There's key players out there, depending on where they can go, that can get that team right back in there. I'm pretty sure that's a question. We'll find out more as the NBA draft come up and as free agent signings, come out and see what players starting to do. So then the second game of the night, which was a good one, you had the Denver Nuggets at home, Game 7 versus the Minnesota Timberwolves and Ant-Man. They came back from 20 down. I thought they were done. I had to say this has been a series where everybody's jumped on one bandwagon, jumped on another one. Ant-Man this, Ant-Man that. Oh, it's too much Denver. I even said Denver was playing good, but I didn't see that coming yesterday. Denver, they just had everything. They had everything on all cylinders. They carried, they held in. Anthony Towns held in. Rudy Gobert was doing his thing, even though, the Joker was going through him like a rag doll at times, but then the Ant-Man in the second half, what can you say about his performance?
It's phenomenal. That's all you got to say about that. Like he put a stamp on what he's about. Mm-hmm. The mentality, the confidence. Even when he was losing, those losing games, he was like, it was more like, we're good. Mm-hmm. Instead of like, oh, we're panicking or I don't know if we're going to do this. He just kept on pressing that gas pedal. Okay. So I think there's a certain type of belief in him to make things happen, and that works in his favor, and it's funny because that game was kind of related as far as the atmosphere and the being down a certain deficit, kind of like how the Mavs in the OKC game was, because they came back from like 17, 15 down.
And that's like a question. I mean, that's one of my questions coming up when you're bringing up the Mavs. You're talking about Anthony Edwards and his mentality. So how does that fare well moving into the next round against a Kyrie Irving? Again, what does that do? Because you're talking about a whole different breed. You're talking about a whole basket of everything when you're going against Kyrie. How does Ant-Man?
He's gonna be juice to play against Kai, to play against another era guy, another KD type era guy. He's gonna be juice to play against that. Now the last matchup, the last thing I seen was a McDaniels and Kyrie locking up a Luka and McDaniels and AE Anthony Edwards locking up a Luka and Kai. And that type of matchup is important. It's a very important matchup. I think if the Wolves can manage to have them rattled, which is, non-existent.
But Luka is they didn't see it. I mean, Jokic, yes, Denver had Jokic, but Luka is like this is not the center. This guy plays all over the floor. He can shoot. He can do everything. So you really like. Are you saying that you like that matchup with McDaniels going against Luka? You like how they'll fare against him?
I think McDaniels is going to step up against Luka.
Okay.
Especially in the first 2 games. The first 2 games is that, hey, I'm here to guard, and I'm not scared of you. You know? So McDaniels, Anthony Edwards in the first 2 games will win the matchup together.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Kyrie wins the long run,
because Dallas got a lot of long pieces, just like Minnesota do. You know, they got Lively, they got Gabbard, they got some boys that can play above the rim and get up and down, which is going to make that series interesting. The way it kind of looked after the Denver series, besides Jokic, you know, it was a hit or miss who was going to show up down low to deal with everything that they was throwing at him and have all those type. But Dallas has got to, you know, they playing good. They've had a couple of days extra rest, you know, and see how it goes. But I like that matchup. It'll be interesting to see. Once again, I think experiences can play a role in this. Kyrie's been there. Luka is a dominant player, but you know, Minnesota also showed that they went into Denver on the Game 7 on Mile High, and everybody was like, "Oh, Denver's this next dynasty." You know, the Warriors is done. It's Denver in the West now. That didn't work out. That didn't work out at all. I think these teams, everybody just makes these assumptions like what the Warriors did was just, it was easy what they was doing. They wasn't knocking nobody over. No, to be able to reign in the West and to come out of the West and be in Western Conference Championship every year in and out, that's a lot. It's hard for teams to do that. It takes a toll on you over the summertime. Do you think it was too much of a toll on Denver? Did they look out of gas toward the end of the year?
I think they got surprised what Game 7 was about, as far as how Timberwolves was coming back and like doing their thing. Like that's how I knew. I think they had it they thought they had it once they went up 20, they thought they had it in the bag.
Yeah.
You know, like we said, Aaron Gordon needed to step up. He needed to have one of those big monster games again, random monster games that he has, for them to close it out, because that young MJ over there, he wasn't messing around.
Okay,
you know,
you labeling him again. You using that word. That
young MJ over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who would you so you kind of like leaning towards the way it sounds to me, what you're saying, you're kind of like leaning towards Denver, maybe. You wouldn't be surprised. I mean, not Denver. You wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota came out of the West.
I say Game 7. If it leads to a Game 7, Kyrie closes it out again. He goes 15-0 in the closeout games. If it doesn't go Game 7, Minnesota wins it.
Okay.
And that's my prediction right there.
Okay.
Another one.
Another one. We'll put that there. I think Minnesota, the difference to me in Minnesota and Oklahoma, and I know that they're both young teams, but Minnesota has been in the playoffs the past few years. They've been in there. Yeah, they've been getting knocked out by Memphis, but they've had a taste of that. They've been in there. And then with the Mike Conley, like I said, Mike Conley would play a large role. He played a large role yesterday. So,
he has to play a big role in the series.
Yeah.
He has to, yeah.
And then, Dallas has got a few other key pieces too. You got Tim Hardaway Jr., you got P.J. Washington who hit the big free throws. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But we're going to be ready. We're going to be talking about the after Game 1 in the Western Conference Finals, after Game 1 in the Eastern Conference Finals. We're going to be back in on it. Just remember, you guys, please hit that like and subscribe button, and let's keep this going so we can do it. Until next then, AD, you got anything to say?
Let's just get it. Let's get it going. Watch young MJ go again. Young MJ go again. Watch it.
All right.
Mike's in the court, yeah, we got that full grip. Driving through the lane, watch them do that quick flip. We got the teamwork, making all the nets pop. Hoops like a job, and we punching that clock. Bounce past alley-oop, yeah, we set the trend. Crossing over defenders to the very end.